All right, people, it's been a while since we've talked about the Washington Huskies on this channel, but they are back for one more time this season, and I gotta rep them. I know that it wasn't a great season. I know that people have mixed feelings about where this program is headed, and I know this game doesn't really mean a heck of a lot, and in some regards could even be seen as a little bit of a farce. But they're playing tomorrow morning, for me, morning, and I want to see what happens. I want to see what they do and what kind of momentum they can establish going into the off season because they've got some work to do and winning your bowl game does matter. It doesn't matter as much as it used to, and obviously you can only do so much with a 6-6 team. 7-6 is not going to radically improve from 6-6, but we gotta go with it. That's what we got, and all we can do is try to get better next year. And it's a little easier to get better if you can put on a showcase and win your bowl game. So we're repping them. I will be streaming this game tomorrow. Stream starts at about 11. I'll be watching this one, doing play-by-play. It'll be a watch-along stream. It's the same one that I do for pretty much every Huskies game over the last several years. Do play-by-play, talk about the game, talk about what's going on, talk with people in chat. Obviously, I know that this is not going to be a hot ticket game. I know that this isn't going to be something that a lot of people are fascinated by, but I'll be streaming it nevertheless. And if you want to come by and hang out and talk about the game or even talk about some other stuff, come on by. Last day of the year, and the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is not the worst fate. It's about in line with the fate that I figured we'd have when the season started, to be perfectly honest. So I'm not terribly upset that we're in this position. Of course, you always want more. You always want. I mean, you want to win every game. You want to win every time you take the field. You want to score a touchdown on every play, but that's not how this goes. You do have ups and downs, and this year was hopefully a down. Hopefully this isn't like the first step down to where next year gets worse and the year after that's even worse than that. Hopefully this is like the valley, but we won't know that for a while. So I'm going to try to talk about this game as best as I can against the Louisville Cardinals. I'll be perfectly honest though, this one is going to be really hard to discuss, and this is the sickness that is kind of infecting college football right now, and you'll see what I mean. So, in theory, this game should be a no doubt about it for Louisville, right? Louisville, much better team than the Huskies this year. Louisville went 8-4. Three of their losses were extremely respectable losses in competitive games, and their one bad loss was to Stanford. This is a team that has been far more competitive and far more capable of showing higher gears than the Huskies. They're balanced on offense. They run the ball efficiently. They throw the ball efficiently. They got big time receivers. They got big time running backs. They got a really good quarterback. They've got a defense that, admittedly, has let them down a few times this year. There have been some bad moments for the Cardinals defense, but that really shouldn't be anything that's breaking this game open. I don't think that we're going to be able to keep up with Louisville's offense in a typical circumstance. Yeah, we'll probably put up some points, but let's remember here, this Washington offense, it's not exactly a well-oiled machine, right? We got some good players, we got some stuff we like. We're all excited about Devin Williams to a degree, at least, I think. There's some good stuff, but it's very, very unlikely to be enough to keep up with the Cardinals. So, under normal circumstances, I would get on here and say, I hope we can keep it close. I hope we can make it competitive. I hope the defense shows out. I don't even know if Steve Belichick's going to be on the sideline for this one because he's going to the Tar Heels this offseason, so I don't know if he's going to be there or not. Whatever. Like, I don't really know what to say about that. I don't know what to think about that, but Either way, I would be sitting here saying I just hope we can keep it close because I know Louisville's a better team. But guess what? I don't know if they're the better team anymore because of stuff like this. I went to SI.com and I found the list of Sun Bowl opt-outs. And I mean, this is a problem for both teams. This is a problem for both teams, but Louisville in particular is getting slammed. So let's scroll down here a little bit. What is Louisville missing just on offense? Who is not playing in this game? Tyler Show, their quarterback, who has played very well this year, not playing. Ja'Cory Brooks, their number one receiver, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. And some of their reserve running backs, in fact, most of their backup running backs are sitting this one out. They do have their main guy, but pretty much all of their reserve running backs are not playing in this game. Pretty much all of their like reserve, seldom played or almost never played receivers and tight ends are sitting this game out. One of their backup quarterbacks who maybe would have played in this game instead of Tyler Show is sitting this game out. Like this is a little bit of a bloodbath here. They're missing maybe their two best players on offense. The only real saving grace for Louisville is that they're going to be okay on the offensive line. They're missing 2 offensive linemen who are sitting this game out, and neither of them played very much this year. So their offensive line's in good shape, but the skill position, this is not what you want to see. And then you go over to their defense. You've got Ashton Gilote. He was one of their best players on defense this year. I think he's going to be a day 2 or day 3 pick in this draft. He's sitting the game out. You've got another depth defensive lineman, Jared Dawson. He's sitting it out. He's got 4 sacks from the interior this year. Benjamin Perry, part-time player for that linebacker core and secondary. He's sitting out. You got Quincy Riley, one of their starting cornerbacks, sitting this out. Like, do you guys see what I'm getting at here? It doesn't even feel like we're playing Louisville. It feels like we're playing the players that aren't good enough to move on from Louisville after this season. We're playing the players who don't have higher aspirations. We're playing the players that can't do any better than playing college football for the Louisville Cardinal. The players they have that are like really good, the players that actually push them to have this relatively successful season where, I mean, they didn't get to any kind of a playoff, of course, but they had this 8-win team and three of their 4 losses were super respectable and they beat a good Clemson team. Like, all the stuff that made the team stand out this year is not even playing. And while this does objectively help the Huskies and put them in a position where maybe they should expect to win, like it doesn't even feel like you're really playing anymore, right? What is this? You're playing, it's not the Louisville second string, but it's about half the second string. And some of the second string's not available for this game either. They're going down to third and fourth string in some areas. Now, not that Washington is completely unimpacted here. They're missing a few players, but look at the guys who they're missing. You've got Cameron Davis, who didn't do that much this year. He had like less than 350 yards. Keith Reynolds, mostly a special teamer. The main thing that Washington's getting dinged on here would be they're missing 2 offensive linemen who have played a decent amount this year, but still not the whole season. And you go over to the defense. Holtz-Claude did a couple nice things this year, but he was very much a rotational piece. Kamori House not playing, okay. Like, I guess he'll be missed. He was a pretty impactful player for us this year. Parnham was okay, but didn't really play all that much. Elijah Jackson, part-time player. Like, these are not players that this team is likely going to fall apart because they don't have. Like, this is not, we're not going to be here after this game saying, oh, the Huskies lost because they didn't have Curly Reed on their squad. If they had Curly Reed, oh, that's a completely different game. No, nothing like that. Honestly, the biggest loss for the Huskies in this game really might be the special teams. They're missing their long snapper and their punter. Jack McAllister, not playing in this game. He's getting on out of here. So you look at it, And the first thing that occurs to you is maybe, the Huskies should actually win this game because they've got their players, right? They've got both of their quarterbacks, actually, right? I mean, Will Rogers will be available, I assume, but either way, Devin Williams looks like he's playing. I mean, why wouldn't he? You've got, Denzel Boston, you've got Giles Jackson, you've got the running backs on your team that actually really matter. I guess Cameron Davis was decent this year, but you can easily survive without him. You've got a decent chunk of your starting offensive linemen. I mean, you should probably win this game. Louisville might be down their three best players. There's an argument to be made that Show, Brooks, and Gelote are their three best players. They're at least on the short list. So, yeah, I actually think Washington's going to beat Louisville tomorrow. I think we're going to get that seventh win and finish with a winning record. But at the same time, I got to say, you look at something like this and you're like, it doesn't really mean a damn thing. I'll take the win. I like winning. Winning's better than losing, especially in college football where losing doesn't get you anything except more losing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't want to win. What I am saying is that this is kind of lame. It's already a game that doesn't really mean that much, and you're just doing it as like a showcase. Hard to showcase when your best players are sitting out. But hey, I think we'll get the win, and if we don't win, it's actually a little bit sad if we're being perfectly honest. So, not looking forward to the post game video I'm gonna have to make if we lose. But yeah, let's go out there and get it. Wounded, can't even really call them wounded. They are wounded by personal choice. Louisville Cardinals taking on the Washington Huskies. I would have liked to have seen a game at full strength, but let's go get the win regardless.